So, hello.
Hello.
Hello. No, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it today. I have a.
You have
just-
paperwork headache.
No. I have paperwork headache. I have to submit some papers. I have to submit some papers to the state bureaucracy. So I have double paperwork headache today. So I'm not feeling it.
Translation: He has no headaches, making just poor excuses as always.
No, the thing is that we all agree the English should be official language of everything. And then when somebody asks the translation from English to any other language,
Within the realms of European Union,
while in the same time communicating in English, this seems at least strange to me, if not just completely wrong. But anyways,
what are we going to embarrass ourselves about?
Today we are going to be forward-looking.
Okay.
The thing is that I wanted to do a show that is going to be completely futuristic, forward-looking with ideas.
Now I'm afraid.
Basically, what I want to do is just to talk about what could be and should be done if we are able to actually change fundamental things in operating systems. So, what could be done and what should be done in Windows, in macOS, in Linux? What features are missing? What integrations are missing? So, what are we right now missing and we should be working on, but nobody's doing it?
Are we talking about client or server operating systems?
All of them.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's a surprise. Okay.
I wanted to talk about general computing.
Okay.
So, without anything other to say, let's roll the intro and see you later.
More like see you in 20 seconds or 19 seconds.
The time travels fast if the intro is rolling. But anyways, I wanted to start with one thing because the theme for the episode came to me in the morning while I was doing something. Basically, my setup currently right now...
Hopefully not, you weren't on the bathroom.
No.
Okay,
no,
that's
no.
good.
I was sitting in my computer and I was taking a look because my current setup right now in my house is I have my main computer that is a significantly it's a significant piece of hardware. So it's something like 13700 with 64 gigs of RAM and so on and so on and so on.
Okay.
I have a secondary computer that I use to do some things that is running Linux or Windows, depending on what I need to do. That is an older AMD 3800 with also with 64 gigs of RAM. And I have a third computer that is running the Unraid, so I can run my virtual machines and everything else that requires running 24/7. Also, I have two laptops.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I have a Mac and a laptop.
No, you have many more laptops.
But I have two laptops that are running.
Okay.
And what I'm actually missing is not only the integration among all of those computers, because the integration right now boils down to being able to barely share disks. And I'm missing the integration the way that macOS is doing it between the operating system and the iPhone. And I'm also missing another kind of integration. And I was thinking about why is clustering not available when it comes to home computing? Why I just cannot use computing from another computer from one desktop? I'm not thinking about remote desktoping. I'm thinking about something that could be done under Linux. So X Windows shell tunneling and using the application on one computer and then seeing the results on another.
Oh, XMDCP.
XMDCP. But the thing is that I want to do it under any operating system.
Okay.
So I would like to have my computers behave as part of the clusters or nodes in the cluster so that I can join and remove nodes while something is happening all the time. So if I'm at home, I can join the computers that I'm using on the road, so my laptops,
Okay.
to enhance the speed that I have at home, and then I can just get it out of the house, put it in my backpack, and use it on the road
Okay.
while still maintaining connectivity. It is all possible,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody's doing it.
Okay. I know that you talked a lot when we were having our private chats about the fact that you really like the integration between the macOS and iOS, specifically between your laptop and between your mobile phone, in terms of Teams switching, phone call switching, or something like that. I don't know which.
Let me just show you this. Right now, I'm connected to the Wi-Fi, and I'm also have my personal hotspot here. I haven't touched my phone. If I want to connect to the phone, I just need to click here and wait. It is going to put up hotspot. It is going to connect. There is a green sign here. That's it.
Okay.
And if I want to disconnect, I can just actually go here and say disconnect. That's it.
Okay.
So this is the kind of integration that I'm looking for. I'm not looking in the integration in such a way that I need to
configure 50 steps.
Go through 50 steps each time I want to use the hotspot, which can be done. Also, I can use, this is called Duet. I can use different devices, and I can mirror my screen on the Windows, on other Mac OSs, on iPads, and so on.
From various operating systems.
From various operating systems. But the idea is that I want these kind of integrations first deeply in my OS, and the second one is without too much hassle. Because in Android, you can use the hotspot. Hotspot is amazing. It works the same way that it works in iPhone. But why isn't Windows capable of getting the hotspot turned on and then connecting directly to the internet?
I think it is possible with some of the latest applications that were added to Windows 11, if I remember correctly. We should check on that. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that it's much better integrated in Windows 11 than what it was in Windows 10. I cannot remember the name of the application, though. I know I read about it, definitely. But let's try to approach this from opposing views. Okay? So you have, your idea is basically direct, complete integration. My idea is a little bit more loose. For me, it's all about, let's say, the content that is important for me. Hence the reason why when we work together with a couple of people, that's why we have the cloud drive from Synology where we keep our files. I'm going to focus more on those types of services because that's what I need the most. I'm just going to add one more towards, let's say, a little bit closer to your pile of things that you want, which is the fact that, again, just like you, I have 3 computers at my desk, literally in one desk. So I have a PC on the left-hand side, I have a Mac inside the desk, which is the Mac Mini, and behind it I have another NUC Extreme.
Okay.
So 2 Windows, 1 Mac. And when I was assembling this setup, which is going to be 2 years in December, when I started assembling this setup, what I was looking for, and we chatted about this extensively, was some kind of a solution that enables me to just switch from one computer to another with a mouse without doing anything. And there are software solutions for that.
Yes, so, I'm using a couple of those programs.
Yeah. You mentioned some of them. But for me, in the end, when I tested those, they weren't necessarily what I was expecting. So I went in a completely different direction, which is hardware-based integration. So I bought a Logitech mouse and keyboard that have 3 profiles. First one connected to the first, second to second, third to third computer. Same idea with the mouse. So they come in pair, Bluetooth connected, and that works basically really well for me. I'm still not happy because I would prefer to have the capability to go from, I have 5 monitors on my primary PC. I have 2 monitors on my, they are on the wall from the NUC, and I have a external, like that small slim monitor, external one, Asus Zen screen for my iPad. I would like to go from mouse from, across these 5 to these 2 and then to this one and backwards in whatever orientation I want, which again, there is software for that, but none of them that I tried worked without any hiccups. They all had some small niggles, which really annoyed me, and or the setup was too complex.
What I wanted to address is the thing that what I'm lacking right now is that what you're talking about is completely fine and it works, and we know that it works. You can use the remote desktop connection to connect to the Windows. You can use the VNC or whatever to connect to the Macs.
Or VNC to connect to anything.
You can use the VNC to connect to anything. You can use
AnyDesk,
TeamViewer, Splashtop, whatever there is to connect remotely. But what I'm missing is an actual I would say integration on a much lower level.
Yeah.
Because the thing that I'm missing is that I have a huge amount of processing power available, while at the same time it's completely unavailable to me. So probably something like an intelligent terminal server on my side would be probably the most useful thing.
Okay.
Probably in the same way that the Unity network works on VMware, but on multiple computers. For those of you who don't know how Unity behaves, is that you can, in VMware
You're talking about the workstation.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
In VMware Workstation, you can spin up multiple VMs. You can get those VMs to show up applications on the screen, and then you can use the unified desktop so that the VMware is just translating the images or the applications from virtual machines alongside the applications on the actual machine. So on the host, you're running some applications, in virtual machines, and then you're seeing all the windows on the same desktop. And this is something that would be preferred, because sometimes, and I know why I would like to do that. For example, if I use, I don't know, AI locally on my one Windows PC, I want to have it in a separate window. I can do it across the web, but I'm more interested in native integration. I'm not interested in using APIs and using either a desktop application or connecting to the web to the browser.
You're talking about something else, which is a very valid topic for us to discuss, both now in this episode and as a separate episode, which would be universal binary compatibility between applications or something along the lines of that. There is a reason why I'm mentioning this, because there are different routes to achieve that. It doesn't have to be a binary application that can go across ARM, x86, RISC-V, whatever. It can be packaged in some way as well. There are multiple ways.
Encapsulation works.
Whatever, or the application virtualization on Windows or stuff like that. Yeah, I know. But
WSL works like that.
Yeah, okay. Let me stick to the point that I wanted to make. I think that you are completely correct in saying that integration between various OSs doesn't exist really, which is annoying. I can understand that. That's first thing. And the second thing is the fact that there are many applications that only exist as applications on a certain OS. This is a different problem. That problem is different problem, which is basically the idea of having binary releases of software for all of the platforms, which nowadays is not all that difficult anymore. .NET can be used on basically anything from I don't know, iOS to Windows PC and anything in between. So it's doable, and it's not the only framework that can be used for that. Just using it as an example, you can easily compile a .NET application for Windows for ARM. Nowadays as well, there's a complete development kit for that, and you could compile it most probably for a native Android as well, because Visual Studio has supported that for quite a while now as well. So there are a couple of different problems there. Maybe it's not only these two, there might be others. I think that going with the topic that we covered recently, which is about the CPU architectures and talking about RISC-V, ARM, Windows, whatever, which is a very popular topic nowadays since the release of the latest Snapdragon Elite thingies. Going along the lines with that, I think that it's a valid thing to say that nowadays we are completely in the right when we say that we want binary compatibility between applications. We are not talking about the way to approach or to access the application remotely in some way. I want them to be available for all of the platforms that we have.
But okay, a good start would probably be to expect a single company that has a single application, for example, Word in Microsoft, to be compatible with itself across different platforms.
Okay.
This is one of those things that actually annoys me.
It works on OS X, it works on iOS, it works on Android, it works on Windows and ARM. So what's your point?
Does the formatting work in Word?
No.
this is the
Do the
thing.
reference plugins work in Word? No. No, but generally speaking, if your task is just to read and write text, generally speaking,
Yes,
it
but
does
the
work.
thing is
No,
that
no, it's worse actually than that. If
yes,
you
and
want to harp that, or if you want to really bang on that drum, I mean, loading files, document files from Word across platforms is not necessarily going to always yield you the same results.
or any results sometimes. And this is one of those problems. But okay, let's ignore this.
Again, this is on my side.
Let's ignore this
More.
for
Okay.
a moment. The next thing is probably the security nightmare of the future, and this is integration across the applications.
Of the present.
No, of the future, because inevitably we are going to be using some sort of AI agents.
Okay.
They're right now completely possible. So I'm not talking about AI as in generate me
A text.
image of something or generate me an image of something, but AI as in can you go to my Word documents, find the document that is mentioning whatever topic there is, create a PowerPoint presentation out of it, then mail it to somebody. This should be possible, but the reason why it isn't is because first there is no universal API or interface at all across the applications, not even across Microsoft applications.
Okay.
This is one thing, and the other thing is the security, because if you enable one application to be able to authoritatively run anything in other applications, you are creating a huge security risk.
That's the way in which the modern hardware architectures and software work. Yeah.
Yes, and this is going to be a big problem.
No, it's going to continue being a problem because nowadays we are basically finding all the problems that were hidden under the hood of the past 30 years, and we are finding more and more of them.
Yes, but the other thing is that
Let me interject with something. I don't know if you've seen this. I find it to be fascinating. Somebody posted a paper about being able to read memory remotely, basically to computers that are not connected via network.
okay.
Okay, one computer can read content of the memory from another because memory, electromagnetic
I know that
and
there is a
whatnot.
possibility
There
to
was something.
communicate.
No. Very, very recently, somebody was able to read the content of the memory from a remote computer that's basically air-gapped.
I know that there is a possibility of reading air-gapped information from the screen. There is
That's been
the possibility
decades.
to communicate across the audio across the air-gapped networks using VGA signals, basically modulating the signal. But I didn't see that one. But the thing is that why is it possible that people actually are able to develop such kind of technology while at the same time the thing that we need and that is completely feasible, so communication between two different applications on the same computer, so-called inter-process communication, is less and less available to everybody?
Because the finding of these sorts of esoteric things is much more fun.
Yes and no, but the thing is that I would like right now, my biggest gripe right now is AI or LLMs. There are different LLMs out there to try. I think that every couple of hours another one is created. So
Minutes, hours,
no,
days,
but
whatever.
I'm talking about big players on the AI market, because to be completely honest, we are still waiting on Apple to do something. We are still waiting on Oracle to do something.
They did introduce something with the latest iPhone.
But they're using OpenAI.
Yep, okay.
We are waiting for Apple to do their own thing. We are waiting for the Oracle to do their own thing. IBM is suspiciously silent about AIs, although they were the first one to do the large-scale computing. Let's call it like this.
Chess?
Yes, the Watson and the Deep Thought and Deep Blue. Sorry.
Deep Blue.
And the thing is that all these AIs or LLMs or applications, however you call them, should be integrated in other applications. Because right now we are in a Flintstone mode, basically. You have an amazing application in one window.
Are you hungry?
No.
Okay.
Wilma, wait.
Dino steak.
We are you have an amazing application in one window. We have another amazing application in the second window, and then we need to copy and paste while maintaining the nightmare that is different characters across the applications. So if I have a bulleted list that is created by ChatGPT, I need to copy it to Word, and it usually doesn't work, or it works partially. Why? I need a way of being able to transport the objects across the applications.
Because copy-paste functionality has been basically exactly the same for 40 years.
Or except it isn't. And the reason why it isn't is because of the...
Okay, it works lousier nowadays.
Yes, the reason is because there is no such thing as a text document anymore.
Okay.
Everybody wants to include emojis in the text document, which implies that they're going to be using Unicode. And using Unicode just creates not a can of worms, but an entire world of worms that you need to take care of. So copy-pasting emojis and copy-pasting Unicode characters is a nightmare. So the copy-paste has become a standard, and I think it's probably the worst way of communicating across applications.
Okay, agreed. What do you suggest to do about that?
I don't know. Probably something like a common API would help. And it doesn't help that Microsoft has created the PowerShell the way it has created the PowerShell.
Which is in which way?
The commandlets. Not a single...
Not related to this topic, but okay.
Yes, but not a single application has its own API. They have commandlets that are basically a splinter parts of application that do perform a function.
No, they connect to APIs of the services.
If it's a service. But
Yeah.
if it's something else, they connect to different things.
Yeah, to registry.
Yes, so it is not, by itself, it's not, I would say, standardized or in any way inconsistent.
But the reason for that is rather simple. What you're looking for has been done for decades, and we mentioned how. I mean, Unix world solved that problem, 40 years ago? Maybe even more. I mean,
I would go with 50.
Yeah, XMDCP has been the standard for starting remote applications that really work well forever. When I started using Unix, it was already working.
But the thing is that Unix
perfectly.
went the other way. The first standard was using remote applications, because you were able to create terminals, but you didn't have the power, or the CPU power available on any terminal.
Exactly.
So you had to use something that was remote.
Yeah.
So they came from the universe in which the server was the king.
Basically, like a supercomputer or something like that.
Yes,
yeah.
the server was the server.
Yeah.
And the clients were pretty dumb terminals that could, in theory, display the graphics. Usually they were only able to display text. But the thing was created in such a way that it works. And then when we started using home computers that became strong enough, we basically started working on the servers. The thing that we are doing now is we are...
No, I think that we just localized applications in a way.
Not only this, but we are basically running the consoles.
Yeah.
So you are at your own computer, you are behind the console. You forget that everybody is able to connect from the outside, and that they can use the protocol to get the application across the tunnel to their own terminal. You got used to actually running a server on your computer. And I don't think this is wrong, but I would like to return to the previous setting where I would be able to share different resources, because my main gripe, or my main idea that I want to be solved, is I want to be able to utilize whatever is available to me on different computers.
Okay.
So, for example, if I manage to saturate my, 8-core or 16-core computer that I'm running my primary applications on, I want to be able to borrow CPU processing power or GPU processing power from another computer. Previously, you probably would be warned that this is not possible due to, bottleneck of the network or something like this. But the network itself is no longer a problem. 10G network is peanuts now when compared to everything else.
Especially compared to the networks when we grew up.
Yes, 10G is something that can be done for, let's say, if I have 4 computers or 5 computers, can be done in under 400 euros. I would guess that it would be point to point. this is a big problem, but it can be done.
Still, 400 euros is a lot of money.
But 400 euros is basically peanuts when you're comparing it to, for example, buying single GPU and then being able to use it on all the computers. So you don't need three powerful GPUs. You can buy only one and then spread the power across the different computers.
I mean, the only real way to do it would be across multiple virtual machines, but okay.
Yes, but the thing is that why not be able to use it across the physical machines? I know.
No.
It's fundamental change.
No. For the benefit of our viewers and listeners, we do need to explain that a little bit.
There is a lot of explaining to do.
No. I'm going to do a Reader's Digest condensed version. Actually, please ignore that email. I know what's written in it. We're going to get pissed off later. The way in which computing nowadays works is predicated on the idea of having a personal computer, which either works as a standalone something or is connected to server or cloud. So those are the use cases. The use case that you mentioned, I happen to completely agree with you on that. No reservations whatsoever.
Okay.
The problem is the fact that the way in which computing developed over the past 3 or 4 decades was everything needed to be connected via network.
Yes.
Network is a blessing and a curse in this when you think about it from this perspective, because it enables you to universally easily connect to another computer, which is good. But at the same time, network is not the best media of doing that in either high bandwidth or low latency, or even worse combination of both of those things. Which is the reason why in the past, let's say 5 or so years, there has been a lot of, there's been like a big prevalence of technologies that use RDMA, remote direct memory access. This is now slowly but surely spreading into another direction, which is exactly what you are talking about, which is basically you have a computer and a computer that are directly connected via a bus, not via network, because network is too latent and too slow. We're talking basically direct. Let's call it PCI Express for the purpose of this conversation, although it's something different. It can be done via PCIe as well. There are other standards for that, CXL and whatnot.
As a side note, SCSI was exactly this.
Yeah, I know.
And it was possible
4 years ago, yeah, but it was much slower.
Okay.
This is a part of the computer science that is being heavily researched right now, because I know that you didn't just stumble upon this idea. You're thinking logically. If you connect the dots from the era of personal computers, 70s, 80s, all the way to today, if you analyze all of the premises that were available over the computing development over that time period, you end up with this conclusion. It's a logical one. I know for a fact that a lot of research has been done in this direction, because this is exactly the space in which I'm working on some things, not using it all that much. My area is right now more into the area of distributed computing, which is basically the first step towards what you're saying. Now, in order for that to reach a level of maturity that's going to be used for everything, including personal computing, that's probably going to be at least another decade. Because on the server side, on the data center side, there are technologies right now that are being used like that. And that's one of the reasons why some not necessarily networking concepts were developed, but they kind of work sort of like networks. There are some standards that operate in that direction.
I'm going to interject because
Okay.
I want to say one thing. I'm completely aware of everything that you said, and I'm completely agreeing with you that this is something that is heavily researched and so on and so on and so on. But
InfiniBand is the solution for that we know now.
Yes, but the thing is that InfiniBand is not that quicker than, for example, 40G network.
It doesn't matter.
The latency is a problem.
No.
But the bandwidth itself. Let's talk about the bandwidth first.
Okay.
Let me explain the entire thought that I have. So the bandwidth itself is comparable. It's not the same. It's comparable.
It is a little bit faster.
Yes,
in bandwidth.
In bandwidth, InfiniBand is much faster, but it is comparable for the everyday tasks, because 4 gigabytes per second is something that is basically satisfying 99% of the needs for the
Of the use
communication.
cases that you are talking
Yes.
about. I agree.
So the only thing that we are missing right now is to eliminate the problem of millisecond latency that network cards introduce.
Not only network cards, but yes.
Yes, but we have the problem of latency. We don't have the problem of bandwidth anymore. It used to be that the bandwidth was the problem, so you couldn't connect a CPU to a CPU without using a dedicated bus because the bandwidth was a problem. But using something like 40G or 100G network is feasible, and it could work well enough. I'm not talking about satisfying all the needs. So I'm not talking about supercomputing.
Okay.
But for example, offloading, having two computers, one laptop, one primary computer, and then having two monitors connected to one computer, playing on one computer using the entirety of the power available on the desktop, and then running all the other applications on the laptop because it is available. It has CPU power available. So I can just use two screens to run different things without having to have a third-party solution to be able to copy-paste across the applications. This is the thing that I'm trying to do.
Again, you mentioned bandwidth. Bandwidth of a solution like InfiniBand is somewhat bigger than the idea of Ethernet. We have 56 gigabit versus 40. We have 100 gigabit InfiniBand as well. That's beside the point. The key point when you are talking about inter-process communications between different computers is latency.
Yes, I know.
And in terms of latency, InfiniBand is in another galaxy of perfection compared to Ethernet. Much lower latency. We're talking milliseconds versus nanoseconds.
Yes, I know. But as I said, we have the millisecond problem.
Let me kind of expand on this. The reason why the latency problem is so important when you're working in your architecture, so we have multiple computers, they kind of work together to do something, which would be perfect for everything, for gaming, for AI, local AI, LLM, whatever you wanted to do. I'm completely with you. I want that as well. But the fact that local process communication, local execution is in the nanosecond region. As long as you don't have that across the network between the nodes, that technology doesn't make sense. So that's the premise that I'm starting with. I know you agree with that, but just wanted to explain that for transparency reasons. Now I'm pretty sure like 99% that technology like InfiniBand is never going to be something that we are going to be using in desktop computing for two reasons. First is that you have to have a switch, which is really expensive. And the second part, as a let's say the logical follow-up to the idea of switch and the cards, it costs incredible amount of money, and on top of it, the cables are not necessarily very cheap. So that's not going to happen. Some kind of a standard like that is going to be able to do RDMA between the computers, but it would be preferable that it was PCI Express or something like that based, because that's what CPUs talk, PCIe. That would be, I think, the better solution for all involved, especially for the architecture that you're talking about.
For example, Thunderbolt.
Yes, but Thunderbolt is still too slow and too latent for that.
It is too latent. The problem is latency. Always the problem is latency. But for a first step in the right direction would probably be to implement something akin to the way the X server is working into the Windows.
Agreed.
So to be able to actually use a single application on one computer and to be able to see the results of the application, so the application screen on another computer. Probably,
you could do that with application virtualization, but that's not what you're after.
Yes, I'm not after that because this requires something that I'm right now not looking for. I would say that I need commoditization of a virtual application. The thing is that if I need to set up a specific setup on a server in order to be able to connect clients to the server, this is not the thing that I'm looking for.
Can I interject with something that is you are going to find it a little bit funny? I'm not sure about the viewers because this is a step too far into being deeply technical and going into history of computing, but I think you're going to find it funny. Do you remember when we started college? So we had those two student labs on the base level. there were those two computer classes where you could sit at Digital's 486s.
Yes.
What were they running at first?
Oh.
Do you remember? We loved those Digitals, most of us, because they were so cool.
VMS?
Nope. They were at 486s. Which OS were they running at the beginning of the story?
I completely forgot.
They were running DOS.
Okay.
Okay. And when you wanted to connect to our Sun servers, Pinus, Tilia, Sidonia,
Yes.
Larix later at what did you use? Did you forget about that?
Yes, yes.
We used Exceed.
Oh, okay. Okay. This is the part of the brain that is completely fogged up for me.
Okay. Well, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because Exceed implements XMDCP for Windows and DOS. There was a DOS version. I know for a fact that there is a Windows version because I used it.
Okay.
So you could do exactly the model that you're looking for from app perspective. So for compatibility reasons, basically XMDCP on DOS on Windows has been something that's doable for decades. This is nothing new. But again, what you're looking for is not necessarily the capability to just start applications. You want to basically share hardware between your computers because you have spare resources and you want to be able to use it. Use those resources at times, not necessarily always.
It's not only that. The problem is that I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, I know.
The reason why I have a problem with the way that I'm using VNC or something.
Give me this for a second. Keep on talking. I just want to find you something. Keep on talking.
Something akin to VNC. I'm using probably every day.
Okay.
The thing is that what I'm missing is the integration across all my computers because if I need to use any sort of data, for example, I don't know, a document or something that I copy pasted from somewhere to somewhere else,
okay,
it usually is on the other computer or is somewhere where it is not available right now.
Or you need a couple of steps to access.
Yes, and this is the problem that I have. I'm not having an issue with using the application itself.
Okay.
I have the issue with data not being there when I need it and where I need it.
Well, if I can be a little bit on the spicy side, that usually, or not usually, oftentimes that's because you keep your stuff on your local disk and don't synchronize that.
But this is the thing. I don't want a local disk.
That doesn't work.
Yes, I know. But the thing is, I don't want a local disk. I want to be able to use something that is not a local disk. I want to be able to use a disk. I know that the cloud solution is the cloud solution, but the cloud solution by itself is not the solution because it requires internet. I want to be able, if I have my computers connected in some way, via wireless, via VPN or something else, I don't want to require the internet to be able to be connected.
Okay.
As funny as they may seem.
It is, because you have to have something that's going to synchronize all of that.
Yes, but for example, if I have my computers at home,
okay,
I want everything to be able to be synchronized across my computers at home without using the internet. Why do I need the internet?
You have Android, and I have Synology. Both of those can do that for you.
Yes,
and on top of it, keep it at one more place for backup reasons.
Yes, but I would want to see something like, okay, the thing that you are mentioning is we are now strictly going into the file sharing.
Data basically. We're talking.
Data, but I'm not talking about all of those. I'm also talking about, for example, being able to synchronize the settings for all the applications.
Oh yes.
So if I install an application here, I want to be able to use this same application on my PC without needing to reinstall, remove, move, and go to hoops to be able to run it.
App volumes from VMware can do that for you.
But
again,
this
specific technology. Yeah, I know.
Specific technology with a price tag off.
You don't want to know because you need that, and then you need UAV, so User Environment Manager, which can manage all of those settings for you. It's a hefty price tag.
Yes, and then there is
basically that's a part of the Horizon suite, which was sold to another company. So, I mean, it works really well.
And it's probably in the price range that is so high that you get the servers for free.
You're going a step too far, but yeah, that was only a part of the most expensive license.
But to make a joke on Broadcast's behalf, I must say that I was talking to a friend of mine who is doing data centers for his actual job, and he said that right now the pricing that he got given for the VMware licenses is such that it makes sense for him to just give the servers for free, because the licensing is 2 orders of magnitude higher than the price of the servers themselves.
That's the way in which the IT is going, maybe.
But okay.
And I know you don't like that, just as I don't.
No. I'm completely fine with this.
As long as you don't have to pay, yes.
No. The reason why I'm behind, why I'm completely for it is that it has been proven that as soon as a company starts giving away hardware to be able to...
that's where you shine.
This is where I shine, because I get given all this hardware because the hardware was free.
That's when he gets lost for a day or a week. No word from Yasmin.
No, but I whenever I have a specific bunch of different cards that are completely domain specific for certain services.
Yes, you have domain specific cards and you're domain expert for some.
No, for example, I have 2 cards that are completely capable of running between them 12,000 VoIP calls. So 12,000 VoIP channels.
The old Digium cards or?
Newer Digium cards.
Okay,
but
why do you have that?
You want them? They're completely useless without the software.
10 years ago, yes. No.
They're completely useless without the software. So you cannot just... there is no detection of the card inside the
kernel.
Inside the kernel. You need specific device drivers, and then you need specific software for it. So there is no reason to have them. I have all Targa cards.
Okay, there is a reason to have those.
Yes, so this is the thing. But whenever somebody gives away specific cards, I'm all for it. Because they're going to end up at my home in any given time frame.
I mean, I have let's say, a collector's issue when musical instruments are at stake, but nowhere near as much as you have with hardware.
Yes, but the thing is that the music instrument makers don't usually give away hardware. This is one thing.
They used to.
Yes,
but,
and the other thing is that the guitars and the keyboards and everything else usually, as they get older, they become more expensive. The servers are exactly the opposite.
Yeah, something has to balance that out.
Yeah, so I know that you would have hundreds of guitars if the guitars were the same as servers.
You mean given for free?
Not only given for free, but thrown away.
Yeah.
So you would just collect the guitars the same way I'm going to collect your hardware.
Most probably you're right.
So what are your ideas for the things that are missing in the OSs?
So I like some of the integration features that you've shown me between those 2 devices.
Okay.
I really like that. That's cool. I experienced some of those things between... I'm a heavy Mac user, so they're not necessarily something new to me. But there are some other things that I did which you don't know of, and we have to do a specific episode about that. We said that he was going to make me do an episode about music software.
Yes.
A part of that story is exactly compatible with the topic that you're discussing right now, which is how to use multiple computers.
You mean the MIDI?
No, not MIDI. MIDI is a control protocol, much better.
Yes, but I think that the MIDI is a good example, but finish.
It is a semi-good example because of the latency, but okay.
But I think
that can actually introduce that can introduce vibe into the product.
Let me take you 2 minutes from your expose. Just MIDI is a perfect example because it is an awful protocol.
No, it's perfect. Just slow.
No, it's an awful protocol from the viewpoint of latency and from the viewpoint of everything else other than being extremely useful.
Super compatible?
It's super compatible, it works amazing, it is useful, it works across almost every hardware produced in the last 30 years, 40 years. So imagine having something like this on PCs. Because it's a fundamental protocol, it's connecting directly to the basically motherboards of all the synths and all the different instructions.
I'm with you.
So MIDI is the perfect example. But okay, continue.
Not the example of what you're looking for. It's a roundabout solution to the problem that you're looking for.
But I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I agree with you. That's what happens when people who are domain experts in something get together in the 80s and figure out a solution to a problem. That's what happened with MIDI because it's still active 40 something years later.
I think this is one thing, and the other thing is that the money wasn't there to make it proprietary.
No, they just got together with,
Yes.
Got drunk, ate a little, arranged what the protocol is going to look like, and everybody implemented
Yes,
it.
but
That's
the thing
an
was
open standard.
there was no money to be made.
Yeah,
because
I know.
the synths back way then were basically handmade, so they couldn't make money out of the protocol itself. So they were trying to widen the market in a way so that everybody's able to connect to everybody else.
Okay, now let me go back to the original topic. So you don't know this, but I've used it heavily.
Okay.
I haven't used the thing that I'm going to talk about for at least 5 years, but I did use it heavily in the past because when I started doing music production, which is 15, 16, 17 years ago, something like that, maybe even 18. When I bought my first Mac, which was my the first MacBook Pro. After that, I got the desktop one, Mac Pro. One of the first things that I asked myself was, is there a way to make these two computers work together on my music project? Because the amount of stuff that I wanted to do, the amount of tracks that I wanted to have, the amount of plugins and whatnot, was always a little bit higher than what was on offer. So I kind of circumvented that problem by having multiple synths, because that way I can have multiple inputs in terms of the audio, I can have multiple synths on different MIDI channels, and I can record that and everything is good. But as soon as I started putting additional plugins on top of those tracks and doing production, that's where the story fell apart. And Apple had a very good solution for that problem, which required a little bit of reading and a little bit of getting to know shit, but they simplified it over the course of the next couple of years. Logic, their audio workstation product, which still exists today. I don't know if it still has it. I think it does, but it has a host. You could connect via network multiple computers. Regular TCP/IP network, Ethernet.
Yes.
And you could say, okay, I have 1, 2, 3 computers, and start piling plugins, instances of plugins, across multiple computers at the same time within the realms of the same project.
Yes, I know.
Okay,
It still
and this worked, albeit with some latency in real-time playback, but it also had a latency compensation built in. So within, when you look at it from the project perspective, the latency that was added by using those computers was recomputed when you recorded the tracks, and everything was moved a little bit so that everything fits together. That worked really well.
It still works. I know for a fact because a mutual friend, a friend of ours, he's using a single computer as a master, and then he has 5 computers that are rendering the samples. So he's able to render something
on
like
Macs?
No, on PCs.
Okay, Logic doesn't exist on
and
PC.
He's able to do something like 3,000 samples at the same time. Rendering.
I mean, that's not a lot anymore.
That's not a lot anymore, but it still is an enormous amount of samples that are being rendered at the same time to create a single track.
Mm-hmm.
So
single project, not single track.
From the computing perspective, this is amazing, but it's extremely specific. This is the problem.
Yes, it's domain specific yet again.
Yes,
and again, musicians came up with a solution.
But as I said,
just trolling you.
No. But I'm completely with you. The thing is that the specific industries, there is distributed rendering of video.
Yeah. There is Blender and whatnot.
There is distributed rendering of 3D. There is distributed rendering for Unreal. There is distributed rendering for any other conceivable 3D application.
And audio. Whatever.
There is audio rendering, distributed audio rendering. There is even MP3 rendering. A couple of weeks ago, you don't know this. A couple of months ago, I had to rip a CD.
Okay.
So it was something that they haven't done for the last 10 years.
At least.
Yes, and the CD was something yoga classes something.
Okay.
A friend of mine was asking, he's completely computer illiterate. He came up with the CD that was audio only, and the idea was there are some exercises, yoga exercises on it, and he wanted to be able to use them on his phone. And I said, okay, I can rip it and convert it to audio. He was completely puzzled that it can be even done. And then...
Not the child of that era.
No, but the thing is that I haven't done this in 10 years.
Okay. How many seconds did it require you to remember how to do it? Less than a second.
No, but the thing is that when I last did it, you would get something like 10 times the real time. So you could render 10 seconds of audio in 1 second.
Yeah.
Right now, using the latest generation of MP3 rippers, because they are there, they exist, I think I rendered the entire 45 minutes of the CD in something like 7 seconds. And it was completely mind-boggling, because I thought that something is wrong. It just opened all the tracks at the same time, just finished them and said, okay, finished. And I was completely puzzled, because I didn't know that...
That doesn't count the ripping part, correct?
No, the ripping part wasn't there, but
the conversion.
The conversion.
Okay. Yeah.
But the thing was that I didn't know that they invested the time and money needed to make this as parallel as possible and to speed things up in such a way.
Was this CUDA-based or CPU-based?
CPU-based.
Okay.
But the thing is that CPUs are immensely quick now.
Yeah, I know.
The biggest problem is not the CPUs, now the biggest problem is the disk.
And memory, but okay, yeah.
No disk, because you have to. The memory itself is not
for this purpose generally.
Because we are talking. We had when you're talking about MP3s, you're talking about megabytes.
Yeah, I know.
So it's not the problem of the memory. The memory is going to be enough. You are going to, because the entire disk is 100 gigabyte.
Yeah, I know.
So you can do whatever
I was
you need.
speaking generally.
But the thing is that the bandwidth of the disk is the problem.
Of course.
And the latency.
And CD, of course, if you're ripping it, because that's going to take a while.
The latency of CD, yes.
And the bandwidth of CD as well.
Yes, but okay, there is that. But the thing is that we have solved all those problems. We know how to communicate across the processes. We know how to...
I think we still have a boatload of problems there,
yes,
but okay.
But we know how to do it. We know how to solve the problems. We have the bandwidth available. We don't have the latency, but we know how to solve the latency problem. And yet nobody's doing it. This is my problem.
You should. Somebody at Tweedybird told me that you're going to sign in for PhD so you can solve this problem for us.
Pending some bureaucratic hurdles, yes.
Yeah, that's why you like the bureaucracy.
But no, but let's finish this thing on a high note.
This was the high note.
No, this was the high note. They told me that I don't need the translations.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
So I'm finished. I just need to send a few PDFs.
Yeah, no excuses.
No excuses anymore. I was trying to excuse myself by requiring translations, but no excuses anymore. And as always, I did it at least one day after the final. The final.
It's chaos theory in accordance to Yasmin.
But the thing is that, as I said,
it's charming in a way.
No, the thing is that I think that if you are doing something that is actually not normal, like PhD or some doctoral studies or any kind of study or certification that is not usually done, usually the environment is much more flexible. Because you are usually dealing with people who actually want to work with you. Because this is not something that people just say, okay, what do I do today? I need to assign input to something.
Yeah, I think it's also because of the fact that those people know that you want to get stuff done. And you have the experience, so they are not so small child anymore.
They want to do a job with you.
Yeah.
So you are usually dealing with people who have the same or similar ideas as you do. So it's much easier to work with them.
Okay.
But okay, this is completely off the topic. Thank you for being with us.
No, you are distributing your brain.
My brain is distributed in such a way that I'm.
New chaos theories are going to emerge.
I'm a little bit sorry for it because I honestly don't know how much. Sharded brain, sharded realities in the brain.
Yes.
I have multiple realities in my brain happening right now. So thank you for being with one of my realities.
Thank you.
Thank you for Vedant to being in one another of those.
Fringe science.
See you next time. Thank you. Bye.